Real quick, I want to do a fair use. Yeah, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to your sisters, you Aquathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yehoda with the lesson.
And some of these I'm just gonna skip over here just to make sure that everything's good on my end. Texas green lights gold and silver as legal tender. And I seen on the ticker earlier that silver was sitting at like 38 something. I've been warning about this for a minute, man. Thank you, Raymond. Justin Tom Academy. So I don't know how many states this is now, but House Bill 1056, cleared by both chambers in late May, says that gold and silver will be accepted as legal tender in the Lone Star State starting September 1st, 2026. The second phase launching no later than May 1st, 2027, authorized an electronic payment rail fully backed by bullion. Interesting. Look what Texas is doing. They're making a move. They're telegraphing in front of you right now. There's a huge move happening right here where they're saying gold and silver can be used and accepted as currency starting September 1st, 2026. But the second phase launching no later than May 1st of 2027 says that they're going to have an electronic payment system that's going to be fully backed by gold that's stored on it. That's huge. That's absolutely huge and a huge move. I'm going to say that somewhere within this virtual reset, between now and in May. I wonder why by May Day. I wonder why May Day. So I don't know where your state sits, but I know many states have made a shift here. Either do away with tax on it, or they've accepting the gold and silver. Yep, doing it in Florida. Yeah, they're talking about backing payment rail fully backed by bullion stored in the Texas bullion. Now I'm going to tell you where this is going. For what? This is all about the stable coins. I told you how they passed the stable coin bill, the Genius Act, for a reason. Espe, thank you for the coffee. Appreciate it to the fullest. I swear it sounds like a helicopter out there.
So this is Matthew chapter 19, verse 21. Yahweh said unto him, if thou wast to be perfect, right? And that's ultimately what we're in this thing, to become perfected, right? To be perfect. Go and sell that thou hast and give
to the poor, right? Because you got to know who it is that you give unto, right? You know, if you do give, you're supposed to give, you know, to the righteous mostly, you know what I mean? But the Lord did say the poor will be with you always, that he was not going to always be here in the flesh, so to speak, but he will be here in the spirit. But he was not going to be there always. But the poor will always be with you in the flesh. It will always be here. And thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And see, that's also what we do. We give to the poor out on the highways and the byways, the poor meaning the Israelites, warning them about the impending doom upon America, Babylon the Great. Upon you Israelites, for the devil hates you. He's coming down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time, by using the gold and the silver, which they're going to back it with the digital coin, right? Which they call the stable coin, which Trump is backing. When his first term, he was totally against it, but now he's totally about to back everything that has to do with digital currency. Why? Because it is for the Novus Ordo Seclorum. And come and follow me. And that's what we're doing, man. We're dropping everything that we've ever had, everything that we've ever hoped and believed in as far as this world, right? We're dropping it to follow Yahweh Shai. I mean, matter of fact, yeah, so this is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 40. O my people, which are the Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. And that's ultimately what this is. These ICE raids, these different Palantir, right? Which is this military surveillance, which is their gospel, right? You know, because hold on. This is AI overview. Hapsora, also known as the gospel. See, and ultimately this is these Edomites' gospel, right? This is gospel to the Jewish, right? Right? The Ishis is a artificial intelligence AI system used by Israeli Defense Force, the IDF. And where's that in the Bible, man? There's no such thing as Israel having a defense system, right? Let alone an AI defense system. For generating generating potential military targets. So where's that in the Bible that Israel is going to be generating potential military targets in the Bible, right? Which this is part of this is their gospel, right? It's for surveillance, human reviewing and approval system, provides targets recognition to a human analysis for review and approval before they are passed to soldiers, right, in the field for potential strikes. So that's not in the Bible, bro. There's no way we're doing that. You know what I'm saying? Just skip down. Just gonna read this right here. It says generating up to 100 targets per day, where humans are analyzed, might produce 50 targets a year. Which, if they're doing it like they could pick more than 50 targets. right? So that's not in the Bible, but this is what they're doing. This is their gospel, bro. Right? This is what they call gospel. Right? And gospel meaning, going into the word gospel. So I try to pull up the definition for gospel, and it's playing around. I just said word of God, and they had good news in there, but it was just kind of lightly, you know. Let me see. It's like lightly there. See right there, it says good news on the right. So it's basically, it means the good news. But I'm gonna just go to this just to prove that it's the good news. So Isaiah 61:1 it says, the spirit of the Lord, Adawan, power, the Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach Wadash, is upon me, because Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach Wadash, have anointed me to preach good tidings meaning news, good news, unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim the liberty to the captives, and that's you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Indian. You are captives here in America, Babylon the Great, right? And we have to tell you, there's something greater than bowing down to the system, getting a micro C-hip, right? There's something greater than that. So we have to proclaim liberty, right? We're about to get free, and liberty is within this truth, right? That there's no such thing as death like that, right? Your spirit goes back to the Father. You don't die. There's a such thing called reincarnation. You'll be back, and when you come back this time, you're going to be in the everlasting, eternal, everlasting kingdom of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, starting with his son Yahweh Shai, King David, and 144,000. So that is good news. And open the prison, right? This place, America, Babylon the Great, is a prison to you, to them that are bound. And here you are bound. So that's the good news. That's what we're here to give you. Yeah, to get back right here, 2 Ezra 16:40. O my people, hear my word, which is the good news. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils, right, which is evil meaning a bad time, and that's what's about to happen. Esau, Edom, knowing he has but a short time, is about to send, was it military? Was they specific? What do they call them? The Marines, right? They had the Marines, ICE, police. They have all these different things, you know what I mean? And then they just got this uptick in their budget, which is 45 billion per capita for the next 4 years, 3 years, whatever it was. But it's more than the per capita that they've had before, because it used to be only 8 billion. So the total overall was 190 something billion dollars. And who is that for? That's supposed to be for here, right? And who's that against? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. So that's why the Lord says, evil times be even as pilgrims. So there's going to be time. We don't have time to think that we're going to stay here in America, Babylon the Great. We're going to have to be mobile in this place, man, right? And upon the earth, it says, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. So you ain't got time to hold on to gifts and things like that and the worldly riches of this world. You got to let it go, because the Lord was speaking to the young rich ruler at that time. He was telling him, sell all you have and follow me, and you will have riches in heaven. But he couldn't let go of this world, right? Right? And he that buyeth as one that will lose, right? It says, go back here to Matthew chapter 19, verse 22. But when the young man, right, the young rich ruler, young man, and that's what a lot of you young men, and even some of the older men, like it's crazy. You got to let go of this place. And but when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. And see, you don't need to be possessing the things of this world. You got to let that stuff go. When Yahushai, when then Yahushai said unto his disciples, right? Verily I say unto you, which means discipline, because he's under the tutelage of Yahushai. Then said Yahushai unto the disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. See, it ain't for you to hold on to this world, man. And a lot of you may not be rich, but you're rich in your BS, right? That's why the Lord said, don't let sin weigh you down, right? You're rich in adultery. You're rich in all these different things. You're holding on. You love darkness rather than light, right? So you gotta let the darkness go and cling on to light, right? And not be rich to this world or satisfied with the status quo, right? And again, I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of the needle of a needle, so like through the eye of a needle, than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the power, right? You can't be rich into what's it called? Carnality. You're rich in carnality, and you're not rich in the spirit. So you're not gonna enter into the kingdom of heaven. We may not have riches like that, but that is carnal, right? You're holding on to the possessions, your carnal possessions, as if that can save you. So now you got to get the micro C hip to hold on to all your hard work, which is gonna perish away in hypersonic ICBM missiles anyway, right?
Luke chapter 12, verse 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful and he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruit? All right, yeah. Right, the fruits of your labor, right? You're out there in the world, you're doing your thing, you're getting your fruits of your labor. So now you feel like, hey, now I need to be able to put this away and reap the benefits, right? It says, and he said, this will I do, right? And the Lord always said, don't do that. Say Lord willing, and that's what people forget to do, to say Lord willing, right? It says, I will pull down my barns and build greater, right? So you might have had like more, so then now you build it taller and wider to fit all your, you want to be like Jay Leno, have all these different cars and antique cars, and you want to, just have a bunch of shit for no reason, right? In the day of destruction, how is any of that going to benefit Jay Leno? all them different cars and all that stuff. I mean, it's cool. Think about it. You're like, damn, I would like to have that. As a man, men are really interested into cars and different things and gadgets and things, but we got to think of the day of the Lord is coming, man. Right? What good is that going to benefit you? You know what I'm saying? But it says, how I would say to my soul, thou hast much goods laid up, and many years take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. So, hey, man, I done work. Now it's time to retire, or even if it ain't time to retire, I worked enough where I could take a vacation. I could take time off, Hey, man, there is no time off, man. Right? Con. Right? Says, but power, the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee, then whose shall those things be? All right, you got all these great so-called things, or hey, in Jake's case, was it Papa was a Rolling Stone, all he left us was debt when he died, right? So in that case, that's the type of thing that happened when man. Yeah, but he says, but yeah, thou fool, this night thy soul is required. Yes, of thee. Then who shall those things be, which thou hast provided? Right? So he is that laid up treasures for himself. Right? And this is the point I was actually trying to make. Right? He who laid up treasure for himself and is not rich towards the Most High power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that's the point I'm trying to make. You got to be rich towards Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and not towards this world. Right? I wanted to get to the point, but then you got to read the whole thing to get to that. Just to, but you got to be rich towards Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that's ultimately my point. Right? But a lot of people like that are not rich towards the Most High. Right? It's few. That's why the Lord said it's hard for a rich man to get through it. Now they said it's impossible for a rich man, but they can hardly get through it. Hardly. It's a hard thing to get through there. Because it's hard for a rich man to make it into the kingdom of heaven. Right? It's tough. It's a narrow path. See, right? I'm gonna start right here. 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 6. It says, there is also other thing. Yeah. Also, another thing, it's like a city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things, right? The things you really need to worry about, right? It says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all things to be added unto you. Storing up treasures. That's where you're storing up your treasures at. Where moth and rust cannot corrupt, right? That's where your treasure is going, right? In heavenly places, right? It says, the entrance thereof is narrow, see? Right? Like I said, the eye of a needle, it's narrow. Like a camel getting through the eye of a needle, it's narrow. And is set in a dangerous place, right? And that's this place here. You're in the valley of the shadow of death. You're about to go through the time of Jacob's trouble, which is also the hour of temptation, right? Jacob's trouble basically is the hour of temptation, right? So, yeah, Jacob's trouble is the hour of temptation, right? You go to this narrow place, and it is set in a dangerous place to fall. Hey, and at any time you could fall, right? They trying to gather you up so you could take a slip and a fall into the alligator Alcatraz, and oops, I don't know. Hey, he fell. No, we don't know what happened to him. Oh, we're missing him on the list. I didn't notice he was missing. Oh, we flew a plane, and we were supposed to be taking him to some other country. I don't know. Somehow they fell out of this plane, and they drowned with their handcuffs on. We're not answering for that. No, nobody's answering for that. Brown bodies, are being washed up on the beach with handcuffs on them, right? No, nobody's answering that. But see how the mega is mad, burning their hats over the Epstein list. What about them brown bodies? See, but you don't care about that, right? But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, because that's what it is. It's a dangerous place to fall, right? Like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, right? So you could drown, right? And that's what's happening, man. You got the firing squad on one side. You know what I'm saying? On the other side, they dumping you out of a cargo plane out in the water, deep waters. This is that place, man. Right? Or they put you out in the water in the swamps with alligators and snakes and whatever, and then they laugh about it. I'm gonna teach them how to run from an alligator. You gotta run in a zigzag pattern, and that may increase your chances 1%. And laugh about it, right? That's this place right here, the Valley of the Shadow of Death, man. That's why you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are meant to repent and take heed to the warning. But then it's all up to the Most High at the end of the day. All we could do is, as vessels, is do our duty and things that the Lord told us to do. So, I'm doing it, what can we do? And only one path, right? Yeah, that's what Yahweh Shai said. There's only one path. No one can get to the Father but through him, right? But only one path between them both, right? The Valley of the Shadow of Death. He said, you got fire on one side, firing squad, you got people shooting at you, you got this, you got all this dangerous things. Things can heat up real fast. Then you got dangerous waters,
right? Drowning in debt, right? Right? You could be drowning in legal fees and all sorts of things. You could be going through things like what they doing to Diddy. He's drowning, bro. You know? But then again, a lot of that stuff is set up too. But I'm saying, when it comes to certain things, people are drowning in these things, right? You know, the emotional outcry of your wife. Come on, baby, let's just get the micro C hip. The baby's got to eat, and we need this. You know, I know. You know, basically in a sense of saying almost like Job's wife. Do you still have integrity? Do you still praise God? Do you still have integrity? Won't you just pray? Just curse God and die. So you got to watch out for for your wife. Things could end up having you drown in this thing, right? In the valley of the shadow of death, man. You don't want that. Because this path that and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small, right? See, like the eye of a needle, like the camel through the eye of a needle, that there could be one man go through at once. See? Said, if this city now were given unto a man, right, which is the New Jerusalem, right, for an inheritance, which that's our inheritance. If he never shall pass through the dangerous set before him, the danger set before it, how shall he receive the inheritance? So we got to go through this. So all that pre-tribulation, pre-rapture, before all the dangers and destruction, and you just don't know that you have to go through the dangers, right? You know. Because how can you inherit the kingdom of heaven if you don't go through these dangers? You know. I might as well. It says, and I said, it is so, Lord, right? Adam 1, Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. See, this is so everybody want to be Israel until it's like they say, everybody want to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga. Everybody want to be an Israelite. Everybody want to be Israelites or Israel until it's time to be Israel. Now it's, oh wait, I need predestination. I need to, yeah, man. These are things you're gonna have to face, man. Right? Yeah. This is Psalms 66:10. For thou, O power, most high Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash, has proved us. Thou hast tried us as silver and tried us, right? The Lord said he was going to try us like silver and gold, right? Thou hast brought us into the nets, right? So we're in this trap, right? We're in America, Babylon the Great, man. This is not our rest, right? Thou laidest affliction upon our loins. See, we're gonna go through this affliction, right? You're gonna go through trouble. You're gonna go through
the hour of temptation, which is Jacob's trouble. You're gonna have to, right? Thou hast caused men to ride over our heads, right? Having Esau above us, right? Having all these nations to make more money, rule above us, where they're passing crime bills for Chinese people, for so-called Jewish people, but we've been here for a long time, crying aloud, crying justice, crying upright, saying, how can you just keep killing us like this? But see, it was all for this time here where they're gonna, hey, it's gonna be open season for you. It's open season for you, Jakes, real soon. Even you foundational black people, so called, right? Which black means, evil, non-existent, dead. I don't know why you would keep calling yourself black. It's just stupid. I mean, right? So, yeah, he brought the affliction upon our loins, and thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We went through fire, right? See? It's that narrow place. Go through that fire. You're going to have to go through that narrow place, fire, and through the water. See? Fire on one side, deep waters on the other. You're going to have to go through it. But thou hast brought us out into a wealthy place, right? See, the Lord has the kingdom set up for the elect, man. Right? And I will go into thy house with burnt offerings. I will pay thee my vows, and that's what we're doing. We're presenting our body as a living sacrifice, man. Right? Which my lips have uttered, right? And my mouth have spoken when I was in trouble, right? Jacob's trouble. This is the time that we're in. Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, right? Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, right? And that's where we're at right now. We're in the hour of temptation, Jacob's trouble, right? Right? Which is basically the time that they're going to push forth the charagma, right? The micro C-hip, the mark of the beast, right? Which shall come upon all the world. So everybody's going to get tested, right? Right? To try them that dwell upon the earth, which is a test, a trial, right? You're going to get tested, right? See if you're really Yahushai's friend, right? That's ultimately what it comes down to. Everybody's going to get tried. You're going to get tested. So ain't no pre-tribulation. You're going to get brought up and you have to go through this to see if you fit the bill, right? Which ultimately we know it's only going to be the elect. When you go to Zechariah 13 and 9, that 1/3 is going to get brought through the fire. It's not talking about everybody, and it's only that 1/3. You have to be an Israelite, right? It's not talking about everybody, right? At the end of the day, behold, feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I come quickly, and you can see the signs. Measure the time diligently in itself. And we can see the times. It's high time for you to. It's been high time for you to wake out of sleep. If you ain't wake out of sleep by now, I don't know. I guess Trump grabbing you up. Well, you better hope he don't, because then there's no one to preach to you, right? How can they understand it except there be a preacher, right? How can faith come
Except faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of the power. If you don't have no one to hear the word of the power by, how can you get this, right? So you got to pay attention. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast. See, this is the people who already received it, right? Hold that fast, which thou or thus hast, thus hast, that no man take thy crown, right? You don't got Vocab Malone running up on you. Hey, aren't we all brothers? Aren't we this and that? I don't know, whatever bad as he would think that would make you deny the truth, and all of a sudden, I don't know, whatever he do, but that's because they were never a part of this thing in anyway, right? He that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, right? See, you're going to be part of those famous, which most likely you are, right? You were the Elijahs and the Jeremiahs and the in your previous lives, the Isaiahs and the Ezekiels, Davids, Daniels. Well, not David, because that was King Mashah, but But even him, he was at one time, he came back as King Mashah. He gonna see himself as Mashah. Oh yeah, you was Mashah at this time, you did this and that, but then you were David in here, and you're gonna be amongst the famous, man. In the kingdom, man. Right? So you gotta hold on to that. You may be a pillar in the temple of the power. Right? And that temple is a spiritual temple. It's not a third temple. It's part of the elect. See? That you may be part of the elect. Right? That's ultimately what that is. And he shall go no more out. Right? You ain't going to go into captivity again. You're not going to be a slave to these nations ever again. And I will write upon him the name of my power, which the true ownership, right? Not getting the charagma, not getting the charax, and graphos to get the name, right? To get that mark. This is the wa, right? Spiritual, right? The name of my power, which is Yahweh, right? And the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem or New Jerusalem, which is come down out from heaven, which is the elect. It was coming down from heaven out of the chariots. It's going to be the elect at the end of the day, and the elect is going to have the name of the Father, the name of the New Jerusalem, right? From heaven of my power, and I will write upon him my new name, right, which is Yahushai's, which is just a kainos, a refreshing, right? Right? It's gonna be like kainos, refreshing. It's gonna be like how it was in the very beginning, right? Before the world was created. You're gonna know him as what says it, know him as he is, right? That all power, it's not just gonna be a fairy tale book. You just that's why it tells you in the scripture. We know in part and we prophesied in part. So we know some power. We experience the Most High delivering us out of this and that. But imagine being the man. You're gonna know it's gonna be like you're that guy. Yeah, man, he's that guy, right? Now it's gonna be kindness. You're gonna remember. You're gonna remember when you helped the Lord make the foundation of the world. You're gonna know all the elements that it took to make the rose or the pine tree. It's going to be in your mind, in your DNA, in your essence, because you were the ones who helped create the world. And you're going to know him like that new refreshing with his, oh man, right? Matthew 22:18, but Yahushai perceive their wickedness, right? Because the Lord can read your thoughts, Yahushua can read your thoughts, right? And said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? See, and a lot of things, when it comes down to this, is the Lord's going to try you to see who's hypocrites and who's not. Now, our temptation, basically Jacob's trouble, is going to be a clear thing of who is being a hypocrite and who's really about this thing, right? Fire on one side, deep waters on the other. You're going to have to go through it in order to see who's the most high. And that's how you sift, right? The Lord said a friend is known in a time of trouble, right? Roughly paraphrasing, right? That's an apocrypha, right? Matter of fact, let's get it real quick. So right here, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 8, a friend cannot be known in prosperity. See, when everything's good, hey, everything, it says a garden of Eden before it, and a wasteland after it. Everything is good before the missiles come. Everything is good before the race wars and all the different things, the tensions come. Everything is good. I believe, JC, Most High Christ bless, right? Or even you might be part of the brothers among us. What's up, brother? No, Yahweh Shema Shabrakatah. What up, brother? What up, mom, son? Yahweh Shema Shabrakatah, brother. What up, brother? How you doing? But wait to the thing, and the enemy cannot be hid in adversity, man. See, really, you're pretending to be a friend, you're pretending to be but really, you're enemy of Hamashiach, right? You mean? At the end of the day, you're gonna be found out that you are a hypocrite, and in prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, right? See, when I'm doing good, your enemy, he doing good. I don't like it, man. He over there looking too good. You mean? They're hating on you, right? That's where you get haters from. So getting haters is not a new thing, right? You're grieved. They're grieved when you're doing good. But in his adversity, even a friend will depart. See? So, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going through. You leaving me? You finna go get the micro C hip? Oh man, I can't take this no more. I gotta get. My wife was telling me about the man. We're gonna have to eat. Hey, but at the same time, hey, never trust thy enemy. Hey, you finna go get the micro C hip from your enemy? Man, never trust thy enemy. Like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. The thing is not going to be a good thing, but hey, go ahead and have it. If you're willing not to wait on the Lord. Yeah, come back right here. It says Matthew 22, and it's verse 19 now. You know what I mean? You don't want to wait on the Lord. You find it's going to be found that you're a hypocrite. Show me the tribute money, and they brought unto him a penny, which is a denarius, right? Right, which we know that these people had to be Edomites, especially when you go into the penny, the denarius, proved that the Edomites were ruling over Jake at that time. Yeah, so the Roman denarius was the standard silver coin of ancient Rome. Right, matter of fact, let's do this real quick, because I did do that earlier. Damn it. You're not gonna let me. Yeah, there it is. It says, while the value of a denarius fluctuated, one biblical reference to the coin suggests that at that time it was worth 1 day's labor, right? See, a day's labor. It's denarius, right? So when Yahushua said, let me see what that is, said a penny, but this penny was worth a day's wages, right? And as you could see, these Edomites, these coins look like the coins of America, right? Look at that. Tell me I don't look like George Washington or whatever. You know, tell me I don't look like the quarter, the dime, or anything that they have now, right? This is denarius. Look, see, right? Roman silver coin, denarius. Look at him. Look at him. Tell me that's not America. Tell me this. So we're telling you that these people are the Edomites, but how could you trust these people, right? Yeah, so we come back here. They brought him the penny, right? Which is the denarius, which have a face of an Edomite on it, right? And he said unto them, whose image, right? What image was on that denarius? Edomite's image. And superscription. And they said unto him, Caesar's. See? Then saith he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto the power, the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, right? The things that are the power, the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, right? And I understand Yahweh Shai was there, but they're in a complete agreement, right? And it says, when they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way, right? Like a hypocrite. You're gonna leave Yahweh Shai and go your own way? No, we're gonna hold fast to what we have, to the knowledge, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which shall be the stability of our times, right? But this thing is what dealing with that stable coin. You know, in that stable coin, which that's what they're gonna push. That's what Trump is pushing, the stable coin. And in that stable coin, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, which, eventually, they're just gonna, oh, it's just a thing. We're just gonna change, or they have to say, they have to find a way that, because everything that they're doing, they're saying, oh, we have the answers. We could save this, just pretty much like he did with the CV-19 in less than 9 months, and it's never happened before in history, ever, never have it ever been happened before in history. And this guy is not that smart, bro. He's not that smart, and science hasn't gotten better. The only thing they've advanced in is weaponry, because that's their blessing. Kwayan, that's it. You're the spirit of Cain. That's all you guys have, to kill your brother. That's it. So you're not smart, and the Lord's showing that you losing your wisdom, you losing all your things, because you can't even trick anybody anymore. You claim out and said about the Epstein list, and now you turn around and saying it's all made up. Now your own people are mad at you. Common sense is, it's not so common these days, man. But some people are coming around seeing that your madness, man. So you can't trust them. See, when you got your enemy and he's ready to put things in your hand, in your forehead, that's what they're doing. This is plain and simple. You got Elon Musk's Neuralink, which they're putting in your head, and some ignorant ass Jake got on there, is like, yeah, I got it in my head, and this is the future. Like he acting like he done the greatest thing since sliced bread. But this is your destruction, according to the scriptures, man. That's the ultimate defiance against the Most High, right? He trusted us, and his white man, he trusted in his enemy, right? That no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, right? See, now you don't have to have this subscription on a coin. It's gonna be digital, but it's gonna have his name, stable coin America, stable coin USA, or stable coin, I don't know. They're gonna have it's gonna be something that has to do with this place, right? Not to mention what it says, the mark, Karagma, Karax, Grapho, right? Which will have their system in it, that 666 in their system, that's already there. The barcode system, which will be in the micro C-hip. When they scan it, that barcode that's on the micro C-hip, that's on what they call a motherboard, with all your information, with your dental, your arrest records, your whatever records you've ever had. I mean, maybe you've never been arrested, but you have had a speeding ticket or a jaywalking ticket or whatever you ever had, whatever you ever been through in your life. All your information is going to be on there. The place you were born, the time you were born, how much money is in your bank, how much you spend. They're going to be able to track every little bit of you, right? And all that having to do with when you deal with product codes. What do it have? Do it not have a name of the product? Like if you go buy a what is it, Samsung TV, or a what's it called, Sony, right? You buy a Samsung or Sony TV. It has a name, but also in that name, it has numbers. And then say you need to get something fixed on that television, they will say, give me the product code number, and I can tell you what item or that I will know exactly what item that is, so I can send you the correct fitting. And that's pretty much what they're going to make you as a person, because it's going to be in your hand or in your forehead. Right? So you're going to no longer need to have the superscription on the coin. And even then, they're still calling it a coin. It's called a stable coin, even though it's digital. So whose image, what image of this coin is going to be upon it? Same thing as that time. It's going to have the image of Esau Edom. And that number is 666, right? So with all that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Baba Ball, Kwam Yasharallah.